My husband left me for my son's classmate's mother and even beat my son. I met my son's classmate's mother when my son was in first grade. Let's call her the venomous woman. I remember that sunny day, filled with the excitement of new students arriving at school. My son, wearing his new school uniform, had a big smile on his face. And among the crowd, I saw her, an elegantly dressed woman with a graceful demeanor. After chatting, I realized we were both from the same state, and since we both lived in Seattle, it felt especially warm to meet a fellow native. Here we exchanged contact details and decided to stay in touch. After all, it's always helpful to know more people when you're living away from home. As a single mother, we quickly became close, and she often came over to my house, and we would drink some wine and chat for hours. And it was just like having a best friend with whom I could talk about anything. Her laughter was bright and clear. It made every time I heard it made me feel at ease. Plus, her son was academically outstanding, always ranking among the top in class. So I was happy for my son to spend time with him. We frequently got together for wine, snacks, and casual chats. Those nights ended with the breeze flowing through the window and our shadows intertwined in the dim light, felt perfect, as if all worries were swept away. He old about 8 months after I met the venomous woman. I met my current husband through a dating website. The owner, he was also divorced with a child, but his child lived with the mother. One evening, had a while having wine with the venomous woman. I mentioned that I had met someone through the dating site. She encouraged me, I was saying I was still young and should go for it if the person was right. At the time, I was 38, my husband was 33. The venomous woman was 48, 10 years older than me and 15 years older than my husband. We stayed in touch. And since our personalities seemed to click, I thought we'd see where it went. Eventually, and I started bringing my husband over to my place, and the three of us often drank wine and chatted together. We felt like a little happy family, like a warm, bright light in each other's lives. One day, while having wine with the venomous woman, she commented that my new partner seemed great, well-groomed, and we were a good match. I agreed with her as he was wonderful to my son, playing with him and talking to him. I began to develop feelings for him. And after 6 months, we registered our marriage. That day, I invited the venomous woman to celebrate. Although since we had shared so many good moments, it felt natural to include her. We drank a lot, laughed, and had fun. Even the venomous woman even gave us her blessing. I could see the future opening up beautifully in front of me. Soon after, my husband started inviting the venomous woman over for drinks. One time, he called her over again, and I casually passed her social media account to my husband. At the time, I didn't think much of it, assuming it was just a friendly gathering. But one evening, while we were all drinking, the venomous woman got drunk and revealed some personal information. She admitted that 10 years ago, she had been the third party in a relationship, had a child, and her younger sister was raising the child now. And she also revealed that her current son, who was in the same class as my son, and they was the result of an affair with a man much older than her, a man in his 60s, whose daughter was already grown. And on top of that, she was married in another city but had gotten pregnant by this old man while still married. But this revelation made me question her moral character. After drinking, I told my husband I didn't want him to interact with her anymore. But a venomous woman suddenly asked me for $8,000. I refused, but I was concerned she might ask my husband for money. Sure enough, she had already gotten my husband's social media account. And I told my mother-in-law about this, and she assured me that she wouldn't lend her money, and I worried my husband might give it to her. One day, my husband invited the venomous woman over for dinner and drinks again. At first, I didn't think much of it, considering she had a husband too. But later, things started to seem off. Hadn't I realized I hadn't had my period for a few months, and a visit to the doctor revealed that I was pregnant. And I had been struggling with sleep and relied on sleeping pills, and the doctor advised against keeping the baby. I didn't tell my husband but shared the news with the venomous woman. Then I posted on social media that I had been betrayed by a friend. Within 5 minutes, the venomous woman asked me if I was talking about her. I told her to stop being aggressive and just speak clearly. After leaving the doctor's office, I secretly placed a GPS tracker and recording device in my husband's car. Sure enough, they were in frequent contact, and my husband was even going to the venomous woman's house. I kept quite hoping to find more evidence. A few days later, I told my husband I had HPV, and the next day, the venomous woman asked how I had treated it. That's when I lost it and confronted my husband. He tried to hit me, but my son intervened and got hit instead. I called the police, and they arrived to educate my husband. I still wanted to give our relationship a chance, so I proposed a divorce agreement. I told him that if we could return to our previous life in a month, we could continue. The first 2 weeks were fine, but in the second half, he started not coming home and give me any of the money he earned. I checked his phone and saw that he was still in contact with the venomous woman. I told him to divorce me, and we argued in the community. He hit my son again. The police came and they took him away for questioning. This time, I was really done. I presented the divorce agreement and he regretted it. But the venomous woman gave him advising to the new car loan to me and give me $20. I refused, but he had no money left, all of it given to the venomous woman. We went to the civil office to finalize the divorce. And the police took him away in handcuffs. Furious, I exposed everything the parent group chat of my son's class. Tried the venomous woman. Tried to defend herself, even calling the police and accusing me of defamation. When the police arrived and said they were furious, said she was just a troublemaker. After the police finished questioning my husband, and we exchanged the car and the registration papers, I took the old car as it had my loan. He gave me the $20,000. Later, when he was detained for 15 days. When he was released, the venomous woman came to pick him up and I took a photo. And I moved out with my son, and not long after I drove an Uber, ended up picking up the venomous woman's elderly daughter. As she told me that my ex-husband and the venomous woman woman had been in contact all along. After my ex-husband's divorce, he wanted to move to Los Angeles because the venomous woman had taken so much money, he ended up returning, and I teamed up with this girl and sent all the evidence to her. Her dad beat up the venomous woman, and I felt relieved. Now, I'm living with my son and have no plans to trust any man again.